Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another 6222 Shadows over Innistrad Eldritch Moon draft. If you like the content, please like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much. Opened Sanctifier of Souls, which is a good card. I like that it can convert your creatures into ways to kill your opponent. It's a pretty strong card. I think it's going to be the pick. There's a lot of good cards in here, though. I like Clear Shot, Scuttler, Weaver, Cultist, Captive, Alchemist, so many different directions. That really has been sort of the, just what I've discovered with this format. There really is not a clear direction. And I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. It doesn't seem like it's been too good for me, because I haven't been super successful, but it does seem to be sort of the thing I've noticed about this format. That's the sort of standout thing I've noticed about this format. Once again, all sorts of good cards in all sorts of colors. Geist, Constrictor, Crusader, Binder, Sentry, Grapple, Scab, Dragoon. Like, all of these cards are very good. Even Hostility. Like, every color has something good in here. There's just a lot of good cards, but it makes... sometimes it can make knowing what you're supposed to do 5th or 6th pick difficult, because there's just so many good cards. You really just sometimes you get no indication of what everybody else at the table is doing, which makes it, for me, has made it really difficult, because I like having a better idea. But sometimes, I mean, you get to know after like a pack or two. But so I mean, I can take Constrictor here. I like green-white well and good enough. I also like blue-white. I think we'll take the Constrictor over the Geist this time. Wow. Well, I do love Faith Unbroken. I've come to love this card. It's very good. I like the Dryad as well, and Grapple, and Ironclad Slayer, and Conduit, and Wretched Griff, and Ride Down, and Unhallowed. Just still full of all good playable cards. So we'll take the Faith Unbroken. It's a good removal spell. Okay, we can take the Bloodbriar. We can take the Geist of the Archives now. We can take the Woodland Patrol. Green-white humans is a thing. Patrol is fine. It's not very good. It's certainly worse than Geist. I'm okay with blue-white too, and Geist is actually very good in blue-white. I also like Mutation, but I give a slight edge to Geist of the Archives. So we can try and fly over top, perhaps. All right, let's take the Geist. Well, Geist of the Lonely Vigil technically does fly, but I don't think it's necessarily a good blue-white flyer spell. There's also Unsubstantiate, but I think I actually like Mutation more. It's a little more of a combat trick sort of removal spell. I don't know. I've really come to appreciate this card a lot. It's also a Steadfast Cathar, which is fine, but I just like the Mutation. I think it's good. I like what it does. Ooh. We're going to take the Haunter over the Chilling Grasp here. I've been passing this up too often, to be honest, and I think it's actually just a good card. So, especially in blue-white flyers. I mean, we're going to need flyers. So, Haunter is going to fit the bill for that pretty nicely, especially seeing as it's cheap and all. Ooh, Borrowed Grace. Now, this is actually an excellent card in general, but I particularly like it with a deck that can spit out tokens or just has a lot of flyers potential. So we'll take the Borrowed Grace here over the Cathar and the Paladin, both of which are good too. Okay, so fairly late Liliana's Elite. We have Guardian of Pilgrims and Steadfast Cathar. Well, I like the Guardian more than the Cathar, and blue-white has more of a spirit theme anyway, so that should work just fine. That's the latest Weaver of Lightning I've ever seen, although this pack was deep. We're just going to hate it because it's a great card in general and certainly good against us. All right, we'll take the Hostility here. Maybe consider red if we're wheeling Weaver of Lightnings. So late Gavony Unhallowed. I don't really care about Innkeeper, but I'll take it here over everything else. All right, I'll take the Give No Ground, I guess. Alright. Geist of the Lonely Vigil. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's just, you'd like to be able to attack with it, and sometimes that can be difficult. So it doesn't seem like green was open. We're definitely in white. Possibly red because we wield the Weaver of Lightning. But we don't have a great start for a red-white deck. Typically red-white wants to be fairly aggressive. Well, that's a nice gift of a late take inventory. Still wanted to make the take inventory plan work, but it's more difficult than you'd think. Wow. Well, Nahiri's Wrath is an excellent card and certainly worth splashing, even if we can have these in for now while we consider what we're doing. But we're definitely going to take Nahiri's Wrath. It's a very strong card. Taking it over a Werewolf, a Griff, a Mantle, a Fogwalker, and a Tattered Haunter, and an Alchemist. So, no problemo. We'll take it. Well, I think Brazen Wolves might be might be the indicator we need to continue down the red path. I mean, we could still technically go blue. We're giving up 3 pretty solid white cards in Faith Unbroken, Sanctifier, and Borrowed Grace, though. And in blue, we have Mutation, Geist of Archives, and Tattered Haunter. So those... But basically, both of those colors have... I mean, I don't really want to play the Innkeeper. So we have like 3 good cards in 3 different colors. But Brazen Wolves is going to be a really big pickup for us here. I love this card. So, we're going to take it here. Okay. So now we have Nebelgast Herald. And Dragunder. Jeez. I'm going to have to pull the trigger on something soon here, but it's difficult. I could continue white-red and just ditch the... Because I kind of like... I give a slight edge to white over blue here. Because I think Sanctifier is legit good, and Faith Unbroken definitely. So I kind of just want to take the Dawngryph, which is both worse than Dragunder and Nebelgast Herald, but at least flies. Give us some evasion. Otherwise, I could take the Steadfast Cathar and get another 2-drop. It's not really that great, but it's okay. I think we'll take the flyer here. Ooh, well, I like Blessed Alliance. Wow, Choking Restraints too. And Alchemist Greeting and Conduit of Storms. This pack's got everything. I think Restraints might be better than Blessed Alliance. That's kind of tough. This card is good. They're both good. Blessed Alliance has some more versatility, but Choking Restraints lets you target your removal. There's some matches where Blessed Alliance is not going to do much. But we're kind of 3-drop heavy already, which does make me want to err towards the Blessed Alliance. I could just... I mean, Conduit of Storms is legitimately just good. Just good. But I wouldn't mind a removal spell here, I guess. I don't know. All of these options are good. I think I might just take Conduit, but... I'm going to take Conduit just because this card is really, really insane. I can't really stress that enough. I like Spreading Flames. I think I'm going to take another Brazen Wolves over it, though, and the Mantle. So, yes, we have a lot of 3-drops. It's not like a catastrophe having a lot of 3-drops. Let's just, because we got to pull the trigger eventually, let's just pull the trigger on red-white, which is fine. Like I said, Brazen Wolves is really good. Spreading Flames is fine, too. Ooh, well, there's Blood Mist, Priest, Paladin, and Outcast. I think I want the Outcast over the Priest. Like, I get it. I want more cheap stuff, but Outcast is so good. Outcast is really strong. Ooh, Ride Down. Well, we're going to take it over a second Priest, because this card is pretty premium in red-white. Alright. Actually, maybe take the Reaver over the Paladin here. We do want some early beats. I don't think Falconwrath Reaver is all that good, but I'm a little concerned we don't have enough cheap stuff going on. I don't really think this is a Geist of the Lonely Vigil deck either. So I could take a second Dawn Gryph. I kind of want to take the Abandoned Reason or the Mantle, but I'm okay taking another flyer. I mean, they're going to be good when we eventually go off with our Borrowed Grace. Basically, Abandoned Reason is a very excellent combat trick, though. Let's go Abandoned Reason. This is a really nice combat trick. All right. Get the Reaver back. We'll take it over and make Mischief. We're just looking for cheap stuff. All right. I'll take a Cathar over the third Reaver. It's not like I have any vampire synergies anyway, and Cathar does attack better than Reaver. Long Road Home. Another Borrowed Hostility. That's actually kind of nice. These are good combat tricks to have. Hostilities and Ride Down, obviously, which is, I guess, more of a removal spell. Borrowed Grace and Abandoned Reason. Probably don't want to play the Give No Ground. It's more of a defensive spell. Probably don't want the Long Road Home, and probably don't want this Innkeeper either. But everything else seems fine. I actually think Weaver of Lightning looks a little bit weaker here. Let's see. So I can take the Mad Prophet. Yeah, it's probably the best card for us. There's a Puncturing Light, a Pyrehound, a Killer, and a Dual Shot as well. But Mad Prophet's pretty awesome. It's got haste, so it can attack. But more importantly, make your card quality better. I like it. Let's take it. Well, we have Emissary of the Sleepless, which flies, but we also have Uncaged Fury, which is insanely good. It combos so well with Borrowed Hostility that I think I just want to take it. Like, if you put these two together, it's just 8 damage out of nowhere. At least, 8 additional damage. Like, on a Brazen Wolves, how much is that? 4, so it's 10, 16 damage if you play these two on a Brazen Wolves. Yeah, that's just too good to pass up. This can just end games. Put it on a Vilden Pack Outcast and feel pretty awesome about that too. So this deck needs about 3 more creatures, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem, I would think. I'd like to upgrade this creature, but we'll see if we can make that happen. Well, Gossip Monger is a very good beater, so I think we're going to take that. That's an excellent, pretty premium creature in general, especially in an aggro deck like what we've got here. So Howlpack Wolf and Captain, Strength of Arms are all good too. I really like Strength of Arms a lot now, even without the equipment clause. It's just good. But we'll take the Gossip Monger here, definitely. It's an excellent 1-drop. All right, let's see. So we've got Thalia's Lieutenant, but we only have what? We only have like 4, 5 humans. It's really not that many. It's going to make her not that good. But I guess there's nothing else I want, so we'll take her. Could take an Apparatus, but I've got better removal going on. Maybe we'll find more humans and it'll justify her a little bit more. We'll see. Arsonist is quite good, but I really like Spiteful Motives. This card is very powerful. So we're going to slam dunk the Spiteful Motives here, even though the Arsonist would be a nice pickup. I actually really like Machinations a lot. I think it's a really good card. Only when you really can make the colors work, but it seems like we can do that. So I think I'm going to take the Machinations here over like a Wicker Witch and a Exposed Evil and a Dual Shot. Another Spiteful Motives? Jeez. We can cut something for that. This trick is just worth playing. It's so much more than a combat trick. Like, otherwise we're taking an Inquisitor, which is just not that great anyway, or a Hulking Devil, but we'll take the motives. Ooh, that's a late Drifter. That's a nice pickup for us. Another just good, cheap creature. We'll take it. Killer is actually a good wheel. Definitely play it. I think we'll hate the Watcher, because we're not going to play Ethereal Guidance. We have the much better Borrowed Grace. Ooh, wield the Strength of Arms. Well, I'm going to take it because I might want to try and find a way to play it. Possibly. We'll see. Might not happen. I mean, I guess we'll take the Golem. All right. So we have a lot of very good cards in here, which is nice. And we have a plan that I think is... Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the red-white decks, typically, but this deck has a lot going for it. So I think this deck could definitely get there. But we got some cuts to make. We got, as per usual, the best problem in the world. So let's figure out what we want to cut. I'm not convinced this is a Weaver of Lightning deck. I mean, I guess technically, well, it's just not what an aggressive deck wants to do. I also don't think we want to play the Lieutenant so much. But I think every other creature is fine, right? Yeah. Epitaph Golem's not that good. I'd probably rather play an Innkeeper, I guess. It's something you want to do when you're being aggressive. It's a little cheaper. I don't really care about the 2 extra toughness. I certainly don't care about the activated ability. And at least Innkeeper's enter the battlefield ability can hinder your opponent when you're on the play or, I don't know, some other way. So let's make some cuts. And we don't want to cut any creatures, so it's going to be all spells. I think we're definitely playing both Spiteful Motives. Maybe we don't need double Borrowed Hostility. We can maybe cut one of those. Although maybe we just cut the Strength. The 2 extra toughness, though, actually does make it... You know what? Let's cut a Borrowed Hostility. I think we're just going to run 16 lands, too. Because we have a lot of good cards, and our curve is not high at all. Like, most of it is 3 drops. I guess we have a few 4 drops. But we have 1 5-drop where we top, you know... We top off with one of those. That's not a big deal. Maybe I don't run the Machinations. It's a great card some of the time, but we have so much better stuff going on. Double Spiteful Motives, Faith Unbroken, Abandon Reason, which we might even have to cut because I'd still rather just do double Spiteful Motives. I definitely want to keep the Uncaged Fury and the Borrowed Grace because these are just explosive high damage cards. Abandon Reason is really good too. I could run it over the Hostility. I probably should. But the Hostility combos so well with the Uncaged Fury. But so does Spiteful Motive. You know what? We'll cut the Hostilities. I love this card, but like I said, I really don't want to cut another creature. 15 is like bare minimum what aggro should be running. And I think all of these tricks are better. I could run the Borrowed Hostility over the Abandon Reason, I guess. Abandon Reason is quite good, though. Deceptively good card. Not even deceptively. It is just good. It is built-in 2-for-1 value. So is Borrowed Hostility, albeit with a little bit more versatility. But you can't give two. You can't buff 2 creatures and give first strike. That's just like really good. That's tough. I mean, maybe because I have double Spiteful Motives, I shouldn't need the Abandon Reason, and I want another cheap trick like the Band. All right, let's run 1 Borrowed Hostility. I think Abandon Reason is a better card, but Borrowed Hostility just strikes me as something that might work better in our deck alongside like Ride Down, Uncaged Fury. I guess that's it, but still. Even the Outcast too. Okay, so here's the deck. We'll run it like this. Combines, we've got more red than white, but I think we're just going to do 8/8 anyway. Because I want my white early, too. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this deck's fine. All right. Run it like this. We'll see you round 1.